Ask any racer, any real racer. It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first official Skinny Sumo Brothers movie review. I'm your host, Ryan, joined by...
Aaron. That's it.
I'm Ryan. That's it. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're here to discuss family. All about family.
We're not related, but we're like family.
Yeah, he's like a brother to me. Like, he's the Paul Walker to my Vin Diesel.
I'm not dead, though.
That's a good point. So I'm more like... I'm more like Ludacris to you being Roman. I can't think of Ludacris's name right now. Yeah.
Because you're going to say it.
Who, by the way, has his own album. You mentioned earlier he should release an album already. I was like, which one are you talking about?
Tyrese Gibson has an album? I didn't know.
He had an album back in the day saying that song, Sweet Lady. Would you be my sweet love for a long time? He's in the bus with the headphones now. Anybody? Well, yeah, he has an album. That's back in the day when he was trying to be all over the place and everybody was trying to do things. Whatever. Not the point. Here we are to discuss Furious 7. I don't need this movie doesn't need an introduction. You know what you're getting into. You're getting into fast cars, ridiculous stunts, explosions, badass characters, all around amazing feats of cinema. Bernardino, did we get all that?
In the movie?
Yeah.
In the first half, what happened was it was just as awesome as the fucking second half.
Yes.
Oh my god, this movie was awesome. Did I spoil anything? Like, in terms of, what's your opinion of the movie?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you think or decide. We're not going to sit here and tell you these movies are amazing feats of Academy Award winning Oscar movies. However, go ahead.
Because of the article?
Oh, absolutely. We saw an article today.
Then the article has referenced that maybe because of this movie, they need to consider adding in a category for, like, was it stunts?
Yeah, a stunt category in the Academy Awards. And it actually was a really good point. I kind of skimmed the article. I didn't read it all. But basically, they were just saying, like, the stunts are so over the top in this film that you almost want to award them for being so ridiculously, outrageously awesome. And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a part where they go to Dubai in this movie, and I literally thought to myself, hey, Tom Cruise, that's how you do Dubai. Unlike that Ghost Protocol bullshit that we...
First of all, I liked Ghost Protocol. Let's share a little bit of a story with what was supposed to happen. Ryan and myself, we were supposed to see this movie at its premiere 7:30 p.m. Thursday night, April 2nd, as opposed to the normal April 3rd. But we wanted our first experience to be in something called D-Box. Now, if you happen to have a theater anywhere near you, and it has D-Box seating, it's going to cost a little bit more money, but you better pay it.
Yes.
Because if you don't, and you just watch it in a theater, sure, you saw a great, awesome movie, because I love watching these at home on Blu-ray. It's why I have I have the other ones too, but these, I collect things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing
you
is,
can tell.
Yeah, so here's the thing is we knew we wanted our first experience to be in D-Box. I went down the day before to buy our tickets to secure them just in case they sell out early, which they normally don't in a lot of things we've seen.
Yeah.
We've been able to go same day, no problem. Well, somebody in the state of Arizona, from my understanding, owns a car that happens to be in the movie.
Do we know which one? Did they say which one?
I think it was the van. It was the one that Paul Walker was driving the van. Anyway,
that'd be funny.
That would be stupid. So baller guy, buys all the tickets, whatever tickets were left in D-Box. Now there's 22 seats, 2 rows of 11 of motion coded seating. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. So D-Box seats, pretty much the seat moves with the movie, and we've seen plenty of movies this way. And D-Box is really cool because it makes a shitty movie usually better.
It can. It can take a movie that by itself is not a great movie, but because the part of the movie that has the action is intensified. Now, if there's a movie that's crappy and doesn't have much action, there's no point in the seat moving
while
they're talking nonsense. But I've seen, this was the very first movie that came out in Arizona in D-Box, and ever since I've seen every Fast and Furious franchise movie in D-Box since then. This is no exception, but we actually had to wait till the next day to watch it. And you know what? It
was absolutely worth it. I'm just going to come out and say it right now. If you, like he already said, if you have D-Box anywhere remotely close to you or are willing to drive somewhere to watch in D-Box, pay a little more, go see it in D-Box, you will not be disappointed. In fact, I would argue that Furious 7 is the second best, maybe the first best D-Box movie we've ever seen. Like, and again, your chair is just moving with the cars, you know, so like you're sitting there and it's like, you know what I mean? It's awesome.
And it doesn't
It's
just
awesome.
move, it has a very, very, just, I don't want to call it aggressive vibration, but it's vibrating actuators inside of it when bullets are flying.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you feel it.
Dude,
and
how-
when cars crash, you feel it.
And even subtle things too. Like there's a scene where they're transporting from one place to another, like on a frigate, like an airplane frigate, and like they're having a conversation. It's like everybody's sleeping except for like the main characters are having a conversation. But I don't know. Did you notice that your chair in like your lower back area was given a slight vibration, like a hum, like
yeah.
you know, like
Or
as
when
if you
they-
were on the plane.
You know when you feel
Yeah.
turbulence?
Yeah,
We've seen, the
Yeah.
thing is this guy, myself, we've seen a lot of D-Box movies.
D-Box, yeah.
I think I've seen more than you.
You have, yeah.
But we've at least, I know for sure you've got to have seen at least 20 movies in D-Box.
At
least 20. I actually did a count at one point in time. I went down the entire list. I'm like, at the point where they made to 100 plus movies in D-Box, I had seen about half, a little over half of them.
Damn.
Maybe
So-
more than that.
So again, if you're anywhere near D-Box, go see it. It's totally worth it, and it just makes the movie that much more awesome. But for everybody else out there, unfortunately, you're not able to see it that way. It doesn't mean the movie's any less awesome, because it's pretty damn awesome, right?
Yeah, let's get into some of the details of the movie. What's the first thing you want to talk about in a detail of the movie?
First thing I want to talk about is everybody knows the setup. Han from Tokyo Drift died, but then when they brought back the franchise, oh, rest in peace. We love you, Han.
He might be back. I'm just...
Yeah, anybody. I mean, they killed Letty and she came back, right? So you never know. But Han died, and we found out how. And how do we find out? Because Jason Statham, what's his name in this movie?
Decker Shaw.
Decker Shaw. He's the brother of the villain in the last movie.
Owen Shaw.
Owen Shaw. And he's basically hunting everybody down. But the difference between Owen Shaw, who's kind of like his own badass in his own way, Decker Shaw is a straight up spook. He's a trained killer. He don't want you to see him. You don't see him. He just shows up and just makes shit crazy. So what I really liked about this movie is him as a villain. Like, I feel like these movies, like, they somewhere along the way, they crossed over from, like, fast cars kind of jokey movies to, like, bank robber movies to, like, I don't even know what they are now. They're like Triple X meets the Fast and the Furious together, because you have badass villains, but you have to have a badass villain, or else you got nothing for Vin D's nuts to play with. You know what I'm saying? He can't put D's nuts in his mouth without that. So
They're like the non-expendables. Like
Yeah.
they're not expendable. You want them, so it's like expendables in cars, but the fact that they're not expendable.
yeah, man, these movies are getting like James Bond movies, but like better. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting all kinds of crazy devices and gadgets and
And you start
just
actually
like,
caring about the characters.
yeah, at this
Like,
point, I feel like I've related to all of them. I know them. They're like people in my life that could be these people. You know, it's so good. It's family. It's all about family.
let's
What
see.
stuck out to you? That was the first thing that stuck out to me, was how much of a badass Jason Statham is. And it's like, oh shit, how are they going to get out of this one? You know, because you know they're going to get out of it, but it don't matter because you're along for the ride, and you're like, oh shit, how's it going to happen? And it does, and it's awesome. So, like, what was yours?
It's just, oh man, everything about this movie, like there wasn't like a downtime, because I don't even remember the series having like too much of downtime. But you're checking your audio quality.
Yeah, we're good. No, we're good.
Anyway, so no, just watching the movie. I remember seeing before it came out, people like, oh, yeah, it's good, a little long. I'm like,
It didn't feel long to me at all. Yeah.
No, it didn't feel long in terms of because you wanted to keep watching. It kept staying good, and then you knew when you're badass. Like anytime someone comes in as a wild card, or when the team's like got the momentum going against them. I got one more ally coming back to save me. And I liked Kurt Russell. I wasn't sure what he was going to be as a character.
Yeah,
I thought he might be the kind of dick that dicks everybody over.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I thought for sure that he was going to kind of be that dick. And what was the last movie that we saw him in that we actually cared about him? The Art of Steel?
Oh.
I love that movie, Art of
He's
Steel.
the one that I saw that movie on a place that was advertising movies. I won't say which one it was before you mentioned it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But you watched it.
Oh, I watched it.
Yeah, hey, you need to watch it. And a great movie. But no, so Kurt Russell in this, great. You know, I haven't seen Tony Jaa in a while. And I'm a very big Tony Jaa fan. I have some of his movies, Ong Bak, Tom Yum Goong.
He was good in this
And
too.
it makes me want to watch because I know he's got some movies that I haven't seen yet, and so I wanna see. It made me want to watch another of his movies.
Yeah.
And I was thinking because Jason Statham, he's a badass. Dwayne the Rock Johnson, he's a badass. Ronda Rousey, she's a badass.
She's a badass.
She's a real badass.
She's not in it for very long, but I almost forget. Like, oh, I want to put something out real quick about Rousey. Like it's such a big thing that she's in this because she's blowing up in the UFC. Obviously, she's like so badass. But like, I forgot that she was in this movie, and then when I saw her, it was like, oh shit, she's in this movie. So I just got more amped up because I literally had forgotten up to that point because of everything that was awesomeness that was going on in the film, and I wasn't thinking like, oh, when does Rousey come in? It was just like, I was just along for the ride, having a blast, enjoying, I was sipping a Corona with the crew, and then Rousey comes in. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about her. And then you get some badass fights, of course. You know what I mean? So like, it was. I mean, yeah, it was nice.
Here, I'm gonna ask you. Here's a tough question. I think it's tough. It'd be tough for me, but maybe you can do it. Name something bad about this movie. Name something you don't like about this movie.
All right, so. On a personal side, nothing. I liked everything about this movie.
If I'm like saying, I could see how Asian people wouldn't like it. I'm like, if I have to try to nitpick, and that's not being racist because I'm just picking a race. But no, like, I could see why certain people may not like it. Sure, but us, there's nothing we can say that.
Nah.
But we were so looking forward to it. We planned an epic day around this.
Yeah, we super stoked. We had a great day. We watched all the other movies previously in the last week or whatever. It's just getting hyped for it. But the critical side of me, so I write movie reviews for a website, and when I have to review a movie, I put on my critical hat. I put on my I'm a critic hat. I mean, there's definitely some right. There's definitely some flaws in this movie in terms of like filmmaking. But the thing about that is that I feel like the Fast and the Furious franchise somehow over the years has separated itself into such a ridiculousness that it's so ridiculous that it's the world that they live in and it's real. So like the ridiculousness is real and it's acceptable. Like when a movie tries to be too ridiculous too early, it's like, oh, okay, it's losing me or whatever. Or it has to go completely like meta, like The Kingsman, right? Kingsman's a great film. You walk into that movie, and if you're trying to take that shit serious, then you're not going to like that film. But that movie doesn't even take itself serious. Throughout that movie, it points out things that it's like, we're not taking this serious. So if you appreciate it, you love it. These movies have hit somewhere across the line where, like, the ridiculous stunts. It's like, you know what I didn't like about this movie? How do you top it? What do you do next to top this movie? That I can't even think what's going to happen next because the shit that they did in this movie is ridiculous. I got nothing. It's fun. It's fun.
They could basically take this movie, just rearrange its parts. And here's another movie. Yeah. We bought him like 3 more badasses.
Yeah.
Decker Shaw escapes and he enlisted somebody else. Like, dude, you're like, who?
John Jones in the next one. Jones.
John Jones just decapitating people.
Vitor spinning head kicks, bro. I don't know, man. All I know is that I'm super looking forward to the next one.
Hope they make one. I thought that was already a done deal, but now I'm not 100% sure.
Are you sure about that? I thought I heard the other day that Vin Diesel said the next one's going to be in New York. He's already said that.
Yeah, I remember hearing that there's like rumors, but like
this movie's going to make $1 billion easy. Like it's like this is going to be like one of the highest grossing movies. It's going to be up there with like Avengers, right? Like everybody. Do you know a single person that isn't excited to see this film? Even people like my mom, who aren't even big like moviegoers in general, like wants to see this movie because she likes the other ones. She thinks they're fun, and like that's why I think this movie is so great. It's like crossed over into some kind of realm where it's the kids love it, teenagers love it, we love it, old people love it, everyone loves it. It's fun. It's just a good. You know what it is?
It's got something for everybody.
It's a cinematic experience. And everybody loves cinematic adventures. That's what I think.
I can see how people like if you're putting on a critic hat,
and
you're like, oh, that scene where they drove the car and out the window into another building, like so unrealistic. I'm like,
I don't care. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, so if you won't see a movie because it's unrealistic, then you'll never go watch a superhero movie. You won't go watch Batman. You won't go watch anything with a superhero.
We're there to suspend disbelief for 2 hours or whatever, and to
a little over 2 hours, but
to enjoy ourselves. So it hit the marks.
Tons of fun, and you know what? I guarantee. I don't think either of us expected it, but we both separately had an emotional almost breakdown at the end of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, I did have tears in my eyes.
I did too. I mean, not to spoil it or anything like that, but I'm gonna just mention it. Like, they kind of do a nice send off to Paul Walker, who, you know, the actor who plays Brian O'Connell throughout the entire series, and has been like the right hand man.
I think it's O'Connor.
Or Connor. You're right. Sorry, you're right. See,
But the way they pronounce it, though.
yeah, it's sometimes real fast or whatever. And Vin Diesel's got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's passed away in real life, car accident last summer or last November, I think it was.
November 23rd, 2013.
There you
I
go.
think.
Yeah, we're in 15 now, so two
So
years
what's
away.
interesting is, I don't know how interesting it is, but I know that the insurance that the studio gets for the film they're making, the insurance company has to pay huge money when production stops. It costs a lot of money. But when you think about it, when this movie makes, let's say it did make $1 billion, or may or may not. That's a lot of money. But if the insurance company's like, wait a minute, we paid out, let's say they paid out $200 million in insurance.
Oh, it's going to make that easy.
But does the insurance company get any of their money back?
I have no idea.
And I don't care about
Nor
them,
do I give a
but
shit.
it's just crazy. Like,
That was a random tangent, actually. But, O'Connell, like, Paul Walker, rest in peace. I don't know if he was necessarily an amazing actor, but I did like him in these films often. He felt like a brother, too. Felt like family. And they make an interesting choice. I feel like they made the right choice to what to do with his character in this film. And it was emotional. It was emotional. Like, I got tears in my eye.
There was a lot of parts, even when it wasn't that part of it, that because I know in real life that he's not going to ever be back. And then I'm watching him on screen. It was just, for me, it was a little bit weird because I'm like, man, I know that with the way they edited him into the movie with his brother and just other shots, what the other actors went through having to act knowing that they're acting against someone who's not really
not the person.
and that's
they know.
just
Yeah.
to me it was very sad. It was, I don't want to say surreal, but maybe that's what it is. It's just,
Yeah,
man, it's crazy.
it is crazy. It is crazy, and it actually got me thinking at the end of it. Like, this movie, the only person that has been in all of them is Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Because Vin Diesel wasn't in the second movie or the third. Well, I guess he had a cameo in the third movie. Oh, I guess he wasn't. Paul Walker wasn't in Tokyo Drift. Do we count Tokyo Drift? Yeah, we count it. So but
Because that
Paul,
would be an alternate, because what's his name had a cameo on that one.
Yeah.
Tommy Toretto, Vin Diesel.
yeah. So I guess maybe that's not true. But Paul Walker was kind of the unifying thread throughout it. You know what I mean? He was the Busta who becomes the family.
Yeah, there was something that now I remember that did stick out in my mind. So, that the Tokyo Drift, there was a third movie. That's the one where Han dies, but Josh Lucas, or Lucas Black, I think is the...
Yeah, I think it's his
Lucas
name.
Black is the actor. Well, so in that movie, I think he was supposed to be like high school age.
Yeah, he was
And
definitely
then
looking like a man.
in this one, they try to make it seem like it's right after those events, and I'm like, he's looking... He didn't like completely look crazy different.
You
but you're
notice?
like,
Did you notice when they showed that end sequence of that movie clipped in here? It was like a lower resolution. Did you catch that? I caught it. I mean, my gamer eye. It was like a lower resolution because it was like from the film. They had to pull it from that, like not have him react it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they just have him on the rooftop
Because
in that one
was
part.
dead, they couldn't get him in the...
Oh, is that what it is? I don't
No,
even
I'm
know.
kidding.
What?
Well, no, but I was like,
Don't start
I'm
rumors.
like, did everybody? Google it. Anyway, so I'm like, man, they all look the same. I'm like, yeah, they just use the same footage because that hot girl from...
Oh yeah, she's
Tokyo
cute.
Drift.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all in all, man, just to kind of wrap this up here, it's a great movie. We loved it, obviously. I think you definitely go pay to see it in D-Box if you can. Go pay to see it in IMAX. Just go to have fun, and you will. You will have a blast. It'll be like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. I don't know what the time was.
You gonna see it again?
I'll probably watch it again
theaters?
in the theaters again in D-Box if I can. Yeah,
yeah.
because it was pretty damn awesome. And it's one of those movies that you'll watch it at home. You'll buy it and you'll watch it again and you'll love it. And we love it. And so,
Go ahead.
okay, I don't know what's going on there, but whatever.
We're wrapping up.
So in the grand scheme of things, definitely check it out. Looking forward to the next one. We didn't actually finish my thought here about, do we think that the series changes without Paul Walker? Because I mean, he's kind of one of the unifying factors, right? Dom's got his crew, but like Ludacris
Yeah.
those guys are friends with everyone else because of Paul Walker, right? He brought them into the crew.
It's family reunion.
Family's family, though,
Could
right?
be family reunion time.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Any last words you got to say?
Like guys, I'm gonna see it again. I want to see it in the DX. I'm gonna get more people to see this movie because, one thing I was thinking when watching it is that it's like I want to thank all of the actors for being in that movie. And I know they got paid, but I mean, without them to bring that movie together, I don't know, man. I feel like it makes my life better.
I want to say this also real quick before we get off this too much. Like, I'm not a huge Michelle Rodriguez fan in these movies. In fact, I downright loathe her in most of them. However, she didn't annoy me in this one. I actually liked her a lot in this one. Yeah, I mean, maybe because she didn't have all her memories back right away, you know what I mean, or whatever. But like, I don't know. It was just better, just in general, general. Anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. You got anything else?
Aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.